Gonna give it a wiggle wiggle. How we doing? How is everybody? Oh, did you have a nice, what was that? Did you have a nice weekend? I have no idea why that came out of my mouth the way that it did. Sounded very strange. So, how is everyone? How's the sound? I already wiggled it once, but I can, What is wrong with me today? Once, but I can wiggle it again. Oh, man. Oh, yay. Donna says she can see and hear. Aloha. How are ya? Good to see everybody. Hi, Rosalinda. I sound good? Good. I wiggled it before you got here. I wiggled it before anybody showed up. Sorry, my nose is itching a little bit. Joan, what are you cooking? Oh, goodness. So, hey, Ginger. Hey, Debbie. Oh, gosh, you guys, it is a Monday. I got to tell you, it is a Monday. In every sense of the word, it is a Monday, which has its good things and its bad things, right? So the good things are there are cinnamon buns. They're not cinnamon buns. I wish I had a cinnamon bun. The good things are there are brand new weekly deals. It is also week 2 of Destination North Pole for those of you who are participating in that. The not so good things are I am not feeling super great today, you guys. I have a crazy headache and I cut the everything, all sentence enhancers, words. I cut that out of my finger today. Words are hard on Monday. Oh, yeah, see? I'm having a hard time on Monday. You guys, I was using my flesh cutter to cut a piece of jewelry apart, and my finger got right in the way, right on the soft spot of my finger, just like obliterated with my flush cutter. This is not the first time this has happened to me. I've done this more than once in my lifetime, but it never gets better. It's like it doesn't hurt any less the more times you do it. But I'm one of those people who, when I see blood, I get really woozy and sometimes I pass out. I've kind of always been that way. So I'm terrible if, the kids get hurt when they were little. I'm like the world's worst. Like I'm not helpful because I'm usually like on the floor trying not to pass out. And it's the same thing with myself. Like I have, just chatting while everybody's showing up, I have this scar. Do you see that scar right there? One time I was trying to cut a candle out of a glass jar. Totally. I'm so brilliant, right? And needless to say, the glass won that battle. And I was bleeding so bad, I had my arm up over my head so that I couldn't see it. And I had to have my kids call my father-in-law because he was like the closest person to us, because I just can't. I can't physically deal with blood, which is funny because I have tattoos all over the place. Totally not different. They are flesh cutters, I'm telling you. But yeah, so I definitely cut myself with my flesh cutter. And I was quick enough to like cover it before I looked, because I knew that I had cut it real bad. And so I mashed on it before it really started kind of gushing blood, and made it to the bathroom and got it like cleaned and covered up before I could really get all super passed out. But it did make me really woozy. So that plus a headache, I'm just not having a very good Monday, you guys. I'm happy to get to be with you guys. But if I seem like I'm a little less energetic today, it's just been a really, really Monday. And I need a nap. Yeah, it's the flesh cutter. Apply pressure and elevate. I know, that's why I put it up here. When I was a kid, anytime somebody got hurt, my family was all women, and it was like, put your hands up in the air. No matter what it is, like, it didn't even matter. It could have been your foot, and everybody puts their hands up. I know, I'm still giggling. I can't help it. That's just, humor is just kind of my way of dealing with everything, which is completely inappropriate sometimes, but oh well. Can't stop it. Can't stop it. So anyway, let's talk. All right, let's talk. We don't have to talk about my flesh wounds. It's merely a flesh wound. We don't have to talk about it, but we do. I've already talked about it, so we do need to talk about the weekly deals. Excuse me. So the weekly deals, you guys, they change every Monday. So just in case you're curious, these will only last, like if you're new, because we do get new people just about every week. And so for those of you who are new, weekly deals change every single Monday. They normally change like kind of mid-morning-ish. So it's not like first thing in the morning, but mid-morning, the weekly deals will roll over to a new set of weekly deals. We do have a spammer. I do not know how to get rid. Whoa! I did get rid of you all for a second. I can't fix it from where I am. Actually, I probably could. Let me pull it up on my computer real quick, and I'll see if I can double duty. So anyway, the weekly deals have changed, and that means we've got a whole fresh set of ones. And guys, the weekly deals are always awesome. They really are just really, really great weekly deals. Just keep in mind that you can't mix your weekly deals together. So if you want to use more than one of the weekly deals, it means that you need to do more than one order, have more than one transaction, which is totally doable. Just takes an extra minute or two, right? So let me pull this up on the computer real quick, see if I can find said spammer. Nelson, be gone. Let's see. Hold on. I'm going to roll back, because Sara is not here yet. I don't even see it on my... He may already be gone. We'll just keep an eye on it. Okay, the three dots next to his comment, and then there are three dots? Where are these three dots you speak of? I don't see three dots. Okay, hold on. I'm just rolling back. Oh, I didn't mean to like it. I meant to get rid of it. Oh, wow. Didn't mean to like your comment, buddy. Okay, so enough of that. Hopefully he's gone and we won't have to deal with that anymore. So anyway, let me get to it. I'm sorry, did not mean to get distracted, but that can be even more distracting than me being distracting. So, okay, so like I was saying, the weekly deals. So for this week, buy one, get one boho bead pairs. And the code for that is BOGO pair. Don't get that mixed up, because I totally would. See what I did there? I want to make it boho pair. Totally not. It's BOGO pair. That's the coupon code for that. The second one is buy three, get one free charms and pendants. And the code for that is free charm. That's a really cool one. Go check out the charms and pendants on the website. If you haven't looked in a while, there's always something fun there. And then last but not least is 10% off the School of Magic collection with your $29 cart, and the code for that is Magic10, which is another really good one. So, I mean, they're always good. But I feel like right now, like as we're gearing up for, we're right by the holidays and like the Advent calendar is going on. Speaking of which, if you guys have not signed up for the Jesse James Beads email, you need to sign up for the newsletter, because number one, you're going to get before everybody, you're going to find out before everybody else does what the weekly deals are, but you're also going to get the extra specials and deals that are going on, like the Advent calendar. Okay, so just keep that in mind. It only takes a second to go over to the website and sign up for the email. And while you are there, if you have not signed up for the Love Club, please do that as well. The Love Club is a club where the more you buy, the more points you earn. Monday, I'm telling you. The more points you earn, and then those points can be turned into free beads, free goodies, right, from the website. So super fun. Beat up, buddy. Oh my gosh. You guys are so cute. All right. Whew. Big breath. Yeah, it's definitely Monday. But you know what? because it's Monday, that means we have a fun project. So what are we doing today? Today we are using some of the Color Envy collection. Guys, you remember the Color Envy collection came out several months ago. It is a set of beads that go hand in hand with the artistic wire, multicolor wire. And the first release of the Color Envy collection went really, really well and sold out very, very quickly. And so they have been re-released with new little mixes that match all of the kinds and colors of the multicolor artistic wire. So if you're interested in these, when you go over to the website, click shop, and in the drop down menus you'll find color collection that'll take you, or I'm sorry, Color Envy, and it'll take you right to the Color Envy collection. So for today we're going to be using the Red Queen mix, which is reds, blacks, and golds. You know those are ones that I absolutely love, and that goes perfectly with the multicolor artistic wire in red, gold, and black. And we're using the 20 gauge for this. So we're going to do kind of an easy project because I'm just feeling kind of today, right? I don't know how you would spell that, but that's definitely how I'm feeling. But we're still going to have fun. We're still get to be together. And I'm hoping that I'm going to show you something, this just super cute, easy little trick. Something fun you can do with the multicolored wire, but also something that you can do with any of the wire that you have, but it looks super cool with this multicolored wire. So I'm hoping that you will enjoy it. All right. So easy peasy. Let's get down to it, shall we? We're going to put together a bracelet. We don't do a lot of bracelets, so I thought that is exactly how you spell it, Cassie. I thought putting together a bracelet would be a fun project for our Monday. Great little inspiration to kick off your week, right? All right, I'm going to turn you guys around. And we might need a wiggle again, but just let me go. Let me go. Let me know. Oh man, you guys. This Monday is kind of, I think Monday is winning today. You ever have those days? Monday, you are winning, my friend. I give in. All right, so this is the Red Queen. And I'm going to dump this out. I think we've actually done a project with the Red Queen before, but gosh, it's so pretty. Why not use it again? Right? It's such a good one. And if you're still making holiday stuff, or if you are getting a jump on Valentine's Day, this is a good little mix for that as well. Okay, so we've got mundane Monday. I wish it was mundane, I can tell you that. Hold on, there's a question. It says, Dawn has a question. She says she has a question in regards to the gift that is on our calendar on DNP. Can you help here or there? So if you will post your question over on the DNP group, I definitely can help you with that. And if I can't help you with it, somebody that is over there can absolutely help you with that. Easy peasy, no problem. Hi Pam, how you doing? Hey Vicky. All right, so check out this little mixie poo. So they're actually, I'm missing one of my tassels. My dog decided that a tassel seemed to be a nice treat to have, but all in all, this is a really, really cool mix. You've got your red, your black, and your brass tones. And speaking of the brass tones, I really love these, right? They have that kind of checkerboard on them. Super cute. There are these little baby rondelles that I absolutely love. Love. The bohos are so cool. They're so different. Like these are truly black bohos, which I don't know. These are just super unique and really, really cool, kind of mysterious looking. There's some gorgeous check glass in here. There are the little leather tassels that are in here. And then this like cherry red check glass beads. We're going to be using those in our bracelet today. And I'm sure you already see that there are a couple of these black check glass beads that already have, whoops, that might be the one where I was cutting and cut my finger and didn't finish taking the the eye pin out of it. So you can see some of them are already ready, but we need to do the rest of these. I'm thinking we're going to do, this is, you guys, it's almost going to be like a design on the fly. Like I know what the bracelet's going to look like, but I haven't actually put the entire thing together. So we're just going to play a little bit because the little trick that I want to show you with the multicolor wire is really fun. And I think you guys are going to be, are going to have a good time doing this on your own. So that's where we're going to get started. We're going to use those beads, but we're also going to use this wire that, by the way, goes perfectly. See how gorgeous? Yes. So I'm using the 20 gauge. All of the multicolor artistic wire comes in 3 gauges. You can get it in 22 gauge, 20 gauge, and 18 gauge. So you're kind of covering all your bases as far as your sizes are concerned. I normally use 22 gauge for everything, but we're using the 20 today. And then you've got 18 gauge wire that's really good for making components and jump rings. So if you want to make components out of your multicolored wire and jump rings to go with it as well, you've got the 18 gauge that you can use too, which is super, super cool. I love that they did that. Okay, so what we are going to do is we're actually going to make our own little messy wrap beads. I'm calling them beads. You could call them connectors. You can call them whatever you want to call them, but I'm calling them beads. And I think that they are super duper fun because they're so easy. They're so easy, but what a cool way to show off your favorite wires, whether it is that multicolor wire or any of your favorite wires, right? These are super easy to do. And they can be used in so many different ways. We're making little small ones, but you can do this in like large scale. They make really cool links and connectors for just about anything. So I'm going to show you just how easy peasy it is to put those together. And we're going to put those kind of alternating with our beads in our bracelet. So getting my ruler out here, and we are only going to need about 10 inches for the size of these little wire beads that we're going to make. We only need about 10 inches. You can go a little bit more if you want to really kind of bulk them up, but I'm going to try to keep it under control, which is hard for me to do. Especially when it comes to cutting wire. That's why I was getting the ruler. I really have to behave today. I have to use the actual ruler. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start this out just like we would if we were creating a wrapped loop. So we're going to use our chain nose pliers and come down on the wire about 1.5 inches, somewhere around there. Okay, and we're going to bend the end of the wire to make that backward 7 shape. Okay. And then we are going to come in with our round nose pliers and place it so that the pliers are up and down just like that. Okay, we're going to take the wire and we're going to go up and over the top barrel of the pliers. And notice I'm moving the wire, not the pliers. But now, in order to take this wire over here to the other side to close up our loop, I do need to move the pliers. So I'm just going to rotate them. Right? So now what was on the bottom is now on the top, and I can very easily go ahead and take that wire over to the other side, and that's going to close up our loop for us. So I'm going to wire wrap, and here's the part that makes these little wire wrapped beads that we're making super cool, is that your wire wrapping can be absolutely messy. And I know you guys are a huge fan of when I do projects like that, because a lot of you are really, really hard on yourselves when it comes to your wire wrapping. You're very, very critical of your wrapped loops and don't feel super, oh, thank you, Ramona. You guys are really hard on yourselves, and you don't give yourself enough credit. And I just want to give you all a big hug and be like, you know what, your wire wraps are fantastic. So this is going to be one of those projects where you don't have to worry about that, right? You don't have to be self-conscious of your wire wraps, because this is all about being fun and messy and having a good time with the wire wraps and embracing that messiness. So we've got a wrapped loop on one end, right? And we just want to create a tiny little bit of space. This is where you're going to kind of determine how big you want your wire wrapped bead to be. I don't want mine to be very big, so I'm only going to go over from the wraps that I made about 1/4 inch and put my pliers back onto the wire and give it a bend. So now when I take the pliers away, you can see I just have a really small amount of wire here. That's actually going to be the entire length, once you add a loop, of our actual little bead. Now again, if you want yours to be bigger, then you obviously want to come out a little bit more, and you may want to cut more than 10 inches of wire for that as well, okay? Now, same thing, Okay, we just have a really long tail that we're working with, but we still want to make a wrapped loop on the other end because we've got to have a connection point on both ends of this little bead that we're making. So same steps, up and over, roll the pliers out of the way, take the pliers on over to the other side. Now, you want to get at least one good wrap in there that's pretty close to that loop that you just made, but now the rest of them, see how I'm just kind of putting them wherever they want to go? They're not even lined up or anything. Wanda, today's live is sponsored by Band-Aid Flexible Bandages. Absolutely. It should be sponsored by Beadalon because their tools are so darn sharp. They will cut through flesh. Okay, so now I've gone over to one side. I'm just going to go back the other direction. Okay, and I'm just messy with this. I'm not like, and I'm just going to go back and forth, right? However you want, as many times as you want, right? And just make a little bundle. It's like a little cocoon. Motorcraft says, do you know if the color Envy have the same beads as the first time or just the same colors? It's just the same colors. The mixes are completely different this time, but the colors are still exactly the same. So that's it. Like, ta-da, we're done. No, I'm just kidding. We're not really done. But I mean, as far as like our little bead, that's pretty much all there is to it. Now you can see the possibilities with this, right? Because I know this is just easy peasy, no big deal. You can do a lot. I mean, you know, you can do just these and make a bunch of them pretty quickly. We're going to make at least 2 more just for fun. But can you see where you can take this? So we didn't put any beads in this, right? Because it's just a little bead that we made up, made out of wire. We can make it as big or as small as we want to, but imagine for just a second if we added seed beads to this and wound some seed beads around, or even these little tiny baby rondelles that are in the mix. What if we added those to the wire as we bundled the wire around? So that is, you know, just some extra little things you can do with this. Also, you can do that kind of messy bundle, stick a bead in the middle, and then messy bundle on the other side. And in order to do that, what you would do is you would leave 2 long tails on either side, right? And then you would just meet those messy wire wraps in the middle where your bead is. So, in fact, let me show you that, okay? Let's do that since we're talking about it, because I know a lot of times we've got an extra bead here. We'll do that with this guy. We are making a bracelet. What wire cutter do you recommend? Well, Barbara, this is my trusty wire cutter. This is the Beadalon flush cutter. This is the one that I use for absolutely everything. It works on all kinds of wire and fingers, and I can attest to that today. But it's a little bit more expensive than some of the other wire cutters that are out there. However, in my opinion, this is the absolute best bang for your buck because it will last you forever if you take care of it. Meaning, do not cut memory wire with this. You want to cut strictly artistic wire, you know, your German style wires and things like that, but you do not want to use this to cut tempered steel or memory wire of any kind because it will nick the blades. And if you listen, do you hear that? Oh, it only did it once. Where mine, and you can see how the little teeth on it are all jaggedy. That's where I have not followed my own rules and I have cut things that I shouldn't have cut. And so now, did you hear that? It snaps because now it's no longer flush because I destroyed it. It's probably not the best like recommendation, like, oh, here you go, listen to the ones I destroyed. But the truth is that it takes a really, really, really long time to destroy them. And if you take care of them, they don't do that. But I'm really, really hard on tools. But yeah, this is the one that I recommend 9 times out of 10 for everything that you're going to use. It's a flush cutter. You don't always need a flush cut, but why not just have one good cutter that you can use for everything? Yeah, no memory wires or fingers. At least not intentionally. Okay, let me just show you real quick what I was talking about if you wanted to bundle on either side of a bead like this. This was kind of not what I had planned, but since I brought it up, it's worth showing it to you because I want you guys to see like the different options that there are, okay? Because I feel like it was like, well, here's a wrapped little bead and that's the end. I want to give you a little bit more to ponder on. So if I were going to do that, right, I'm going to need a really long tail on both ends of my wire. So I would come down several inches, okay, on the wire. The tip of my wire is up here. I'm going to come down several inches and I'm going to go ahead and do a wrapped loop just like we did, just not at the end of the wire, right? This is down here towards the middle of the wire so that we're going to have this big long tail that we can play with. Okay, I'm going to wrap it around just to kind of get it nice and secure. Now I'm going to take that tail and put it out this direction. And that might not be quite long enough, but just to kind of show you. So then we'd put our bead on, right? And we want room to bundle, right? To make our little cocooning, if you will. So I'm gonna kind of eyeball it, hold my bead there. I can see there's some daylight between the wrapped loops and the edge of the bead. I want the same kind of amount of space over on this side. And so just kind of position your pliers where you need those to go, okay? Start your wrapped loop on the other side so you got yourself a nice long tail. Sorry, the wire is so long, I'm having to kind of move out of the frame. I apologize. Okay, so now you've got two long tails. One of mine's a little bit shorter than the other, but this is just kind of giving you the idea, right? So you kind of start the same way. Start out just kind of wire wrapping. Decide where you want that bead to go. Okay, wire wrap over with one side and then kind of, whoops, let's put it back on the tool so I have a little bit better leverage here. But you put it back on the tool for the other side as well, just to kind of take that wire over. And you can see those are messy wraps on either side, but now my bead's not going to wiggle back and forth, so I really can like focus on just wire wrapping and making a messy kind of cocoony bundle type thing on either side. And again, you just do this the same way you would with the little bead that we just made, right? The only difference is that with this, my band-aid's trying to slip away, come off. With this, we just put a bead in the middle. It's really, to me, it's just about finding fun ways to use this multicolored wire because it's so pretty. I don't want to just do a single wire wrapped loop and only have that color showing, you know, on the ends of my bead. That's no fun. I want to show off all that fun color that's there. Now that might not be, yeah, like a wrapped candy. That might not be your style or your speed at all, and that's okay. I'm just giving you some ideas to play with, right? Because showing off that wire is part of what makes the design when you're working with the beads, right? It's all made to go together, but only goes together if you get to see that cool wire, right? All right, so that's one like that, but let's go back to the ones that we were truly supposed to make. Oh yeah, runaway band-aid, just what I need. So we're going to make at least two more of these because this is really what I wanted you guys to focus on, because you can go from here to here and then to wherever you want to go, right? You can play around with it. This is just a fun little easy, and they look super cool in between our beads. So we're going to make two more of those, even though I've got some that are already made, but just to kind of show you again how to do it. So again, I'm going to bring out the ruler because I want to be sure that I get the right measurement on this. Trying to be very, very mindful. Okay. So 10 inches, that's what I'm using to make my little bundles here. Okay. Again, going to come down on the wire about an inch, inch and a half. Okay. Bend the wire. Coming in with round nose pliers, taking the wire up and over the top barrel of the pliers, roll the pliers out of the way, take the wire over to the other side, and then I'm going to wire wrap a couple of times. And again, you don't have to make beautiful ones because we're going to cover them up with more bundles. So it's totally okay if they're not in like a nice, neat little row. Okay. Now, again, this is where you kind of determine how big you want your little wire cocoon, if you will, to be. I only want to come over about 1/4 of an inch, if that much, and give my wire a bend. Okay, now we're going to start that wrapped loop on the other side. So same thing. And now we're ready to just kind of go back and forth with our multicolor wire that is just, it's just so pretty and fun, right? And this can be done very, very quickly. You know, it's just a fun little something that anybody can do, you know. And if you're into messy wire wraps or unintentionally into messy wire wraps, then this is a super easy, fun one that you can do and be really proud of. And every single one of them is going to have their own personality, right? They're all different. None of them are going to look exactly the same. They're going to be close, but they're not going to look exactly the same. And depending on how much wire you use, if you use more than 10 inches, you can really kind of bulk these up and make them extra fat if you want to. And, you know, extra wire, make them extra long if you wanted to. You can even do entire sections. So like if you wanted to do a long section for the center piece of a necklace, you could do, you know, 3 or 4 inches. You could even do an entire, you know, bangle bracelet and then add your beads to that outer wraparound if you wanted to. It'd be really, really cool. Lots of different things you can do with just one little idea. So let's make one more and then let's put together a bracelet and use these little guys in combination with our beads. So again, I'm going to measure out about 10 inches of wire. Okay. And straighten it out just a little bit. I'm going to come down on the wire about 1.5 inches. Okay. Give it a good bend. And then we're going to come in with the round nose pliers, just like before, and go up and over, rolling the pliers out of the way. And then we're going to wrap. And again, doesn't matter what these look like. You're going to cover them up anyway. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to place my pliers down about 1/4 of an inch, right? Give myself a little bit of room. Okay, now we're going to do another wrapped loop. If you do a longer one, how would you hold it to stop it from bending in the middle? Well, that's probably going to be a good thing to have your nylon jaw pliers for, you know, to kind of use as so that you're not pinching the wire with your metal tools. You can kind of hold on in the middle and like kind of go back and forth. I definitely would recommend that for sure. Or you could, since this multicolor wire, that's a really good question. So thank you for asking that. Here's our little bundle. I love the colors in this. It's so much fun. So what I was going to say, I'm sorry, is you could actually, if you were really struggling and it was getting kind of bendy in the middle for a long section, use the 18 gauge wire. Since the multicolor wire comes in the 22, the 20, and the 18, use the 18 as the core and do all of the wire wrapping with the 20 or the 22. Having just that little thicker gauge as the core wire will really kind of help to keep you from having that bendy back and forth thing. But again, once you build up all of the coils, you know, all those little wraps around, it's going to really kind of sturdy it up so that you're not going to have that problem once you get it all bundled together. It's just that initially, you know, and that's why I say I probably use the nylon jaw pliers just to kind of hold on to it as you are working your way down. So initially I'm holding it on the round nose pliers here. I'm winding around. When you get to, you know, the 2-inch mark, then come in with your nylon jaw pliers and hold it there instead of at the loop, and then continue working and then come back, right? And then let go. And that really is going to kind of help to stabilize it. That's a really good question. Okay. So now that we've made our little bundles, I've made several of these. Some of them even already have jump rings on them, and that was just from where I was playing with them earlier. But I just wanted to bring them all into the shot here to show them to you because they are so different. Each one of them, you know, the multicolor wire, because it kind of fades from one color to the other in different places. They all have their own little personality. Each little bundle is different, right? But they're so fun, and it's just a cool way to show off that wire. Robin says, could you whack the core wire? Absolutely. And you guys know I'm a huge fan of that. I don't know if anybody noticed or not, but this is the same finger that I whacked with the hammer. It's also the same finger that I cut. So speaking of hammers, this poor finger, it's been through it. So yeah, just don't ask this finger. Keep your fingers out of the way. But yeah, absolutely, you can harden that core wire, and that is going to make a big difference as well. That's a great thing to do. Okay, maybe use German style wire. Absolutely, you can use the German style wire for the core too. You can use a thicker gauge German style wire if you wanted to. You could even go as thick as maybe 16 gauge for the core if you wanted to. 14 is really kind of pushing it. Remember that whatever you do, you've still got to be able to make loops on either end, and so the thicker that core wire is going to be, the thicker and more bulky your loops on either end are going to be too. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so what I was thinking initially when I was playing with all of this was, I was thinking, all right, we'll take some of these really cool check glass beads. We'll put some of our little wire bundles, we'll alternate, right? And then we'll put one of these super cool bohos in the middle, and we'll just make a super easy peasy little bracelet out of it. And then I thought, well, we could do that, and then maybe we could do another, like make it a 2-strand bracelet if we wanted to. I don't know. I'm just going to kind of lay it out and see how I feel about it. So that's what I'm thinking for at least one strand. And we've still got lots of other beads, so we could feasibly, let's see, we could make it a 2-strand if we wanted to, and do, since I've got so many of these little guys, the only problem that I ever have with making multi-strand bracelets is that it's really hard, unless you're using the exact same kinds of beads, to make the two strands the same length. Does anybody else struggle with that? I know that if you put it on a, if you put it on a necklace board, or if you put it, out with your rulers, they make bracelet boards just like they do necklace boards that you can use. But sometimes I still kind of struggle with getting multi-strand bracelets in particular the same length and not having one strand just a hair longer, and it throws the whole thing off. So 2 strands with dangles, you got it. I can do that. We got this little dangle we can use here. We got this little dangle we can use. We got lots of little dangles we can use. I'm all about that. All right, so we're just going to kind of put these together with some jump rings, and I am going to use eye pins. It does not want to focus today. We're going to keep it super easy. We're not going to make our own loops. We're just going to cheat. And I say that in like the most loving way possible. I don't mean that these are by any means beneath anybody. Eye pins are phenomenal, So we're going to do simple loops instead of wrapped loops. And I'm not going to cut my own wire because I've already cut enough things today. So I'm just going to pop all of these beads onto eye pins. Okay. And we'll just make simple loops, and then we'll just connect everything with some jump rings. We'll do our second strand here, and hopefully we'll be able to work it out so that they're the same length. Yeah, I think it's a struggle for everybody, honestly. It difficult. Words are also difficult. It makes it difficult when you're not using the same size beads, you know, in your multi-strand designs. That can really throw you off when you're trying to make 2 strands exactly the same length. It's very, very hard, you know, for anybody to do. Okay, so I've got everything on eye pins that need eye pins. We're just going to do simple loops. So I'm going to move some of this stuff out of the way so that the camera is not just totally losing its mind trying to focus on things. And I'm just going to come in with my chain nose pliers, and I'm going to bend the wire. Now, I don't need to bend over the pliers because I don't need that extra space for the wire wraps, because we're just keeping it simple and doing just regular simple loops here. So we don't have to do any of the wire wrapping, which means we don't need any extra room, which is perfect. All right, so we want to come in with our cutter tool, and you want to cut off, leave yourself about 1/4 of an inch of wire, okay? And then you want to come in with a pair of round nose pliers, grab the tip of that wire, and then roll back towards the bead and your hand to create your simple loop. So now you've got simple loops on either side, which is the perfect connection. Marilyn, I love eye pins too. I do too. I really did not mean to make them sound like they were, you know, not good for jewelry making and that's like totally cheating. I just mean like a time saver when I say cheating. Maria says her struggle encourages me. Yay! And I really struggle on Mondays, so hopefully that really encourages everybody. Oh my goodness. All right, so I'm just going to keep going, okay? And don't forget, we got to do these beads in the middle too, but I thought we would start out with our smaller beads, just making our little simple loops. Every little fuzzy piece in the whole world wants to stick to my Band-Aid, which doesn't make me happy. So there are our loops on that one. The sound went low. That's really weird because I didn't do anything to it and I haven't moved. Let me know. Keep me posted on that one. All right, now we're going to do our red beads as well. And guys, you can use whichever beads you want to out of this mix. That's the cool thing about the mixes and the wire is that it all matches. It all goes together. So you don't have to pick out the same beads that I do. And you can also use these little wire bundles that we made. If you don't want to do a bracelet, you absolutely could do some really cool earrings with those wire bundles. They'd be really neat as little connectors for earrings. Okay. I love that red. It's just like the perfect like apple red. Okay. We've got 2 more, and then we're going to connect these with some jump rings. And connecting this all together, originally I was going to connect all this together with the 4mm jump rings, and I still plan to do that. But if we need to make some adjustments to try to even up the 2 sections so that they're the same length, the jump rings is a good place to kind of, you know, where you can make some adjustments without having to take beads away. Jump rings are phenomenal for that. They're perfect for adding and taking away length anytime you need to. And that's why, even if you don't like to have 4mm jump rings because they're so small and they're hard to work with, I encourage you to have them in your stash anyway, just so that you have them in case you need that tiny little extra length to add to something. Because even though they can be frustrating to work with, it sometimes is just the right amount of space that you need for something. So look, I left this guy out. How did I leave him out? No idea. No idea. And we're going to do the 2 in the center as well. And I was going to do wrapped loops on those, but I think we'll just keep them on eye pins as well. Might as well. Just kind of keep it all uniform here. All right, so I need 2 more. I love this bead too. That kind of lantern shape. I just love that. It's really, really pretty. That would make a gorgeous earring. any of these would, but you guys know I love red, so anything red would make a beautiful something in my mind. It doesn't matter what it is. I'll give you one guess. I have, let's see, we have 7 Christmas trees. I'll give you one guess what the main Christmas tree color is for our main tree in the living room. Can you describe how you consistently cut your length? Yes, I can, but not with this boho bead. In fact, this boho bead has a pretty, well, I think I can. So the boho bead has a really large hole I didn't realize until just now. So I'm hoping this little rondelle will be a good little stopper, but it might not be. We'll have to see. Yeah, that's going to work. Okay, so I'm just kind of improvising here. After watching a live on Fire Mountain, they use 3mm jump rings. Oh. Nicole says she'll no longer complain about the 4mm. I've got some 3mm sitting here on my desk, and I have yet to use a single one of them because they're so tiny. I'm just like, I don't have the patience for that. I have them just in case I need them, but yeah, no. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and bend this, and then we'll talk about how I consistently cut the same length of wire here. So for me, and this is going to be different for everybody because everybody's fingers are different, but when I kind of eyeball 1/4 of an inch, and this is just like seriously probably the world's worst measurement method ever, but I kind of measure it against the width of my finger. So you'll notice every time I go to come in and cut, I'm kind of sticking my finger underneath there. That's how I measure. So if I put, this is a terrible bead for this, by the way. Let's try it with something else, because the boho and that hole, that's just not a good, that's not a good one. I mean, it's a great bead. It's just not a good one to show you my little trick on. So here we go. So you can see the width of my finger is right at about 1/4 of an inch. And so I pretty much, that's how I measure every single time. And that's going to give me a pretty consistent loop every single time, is just by cutting it right where it meets the edge of my finger. Now, again, that's not going to work. And see, that's almost perfect for matching the same size loop that's already in the eye pin. That's not going to work with everybody, because everybody's fingers are different. So the only other thing I can tell you is to measure and make it 1/4 of an inch, or find something else that you've got handy that you've already got, that you're already using on your desk, and, you know, just hold it up there, you know, mark it on your pliers, you know. I'm not real sure any other way, unless you want to have fingers exactly like mine. Oh gosh. So that was a good question, Wanda, but I don't have like the world's best answer. Oh gosh. And now I think I've cut this one too short. I don't know. What have you done to me, Wanda? Yeah, this one got cut way too short. Let's try that again, shall we? Oh goodness. You know what? I laugh and I'm like, oh, it's a Monday. You guys are so used to my Mondays and so used to like anything can happen on Mondays that at this point, I don't even think I need to say it. You're just like, yep, that's just Sarah on a Monday. And sometimes it bleeds over into Wednesdays. But you guys know, I never take myself too seriously. And that's, you know, what's the fun in it if you spend more time being frustrated? I'd rather just have a good time. Maybe we learn something along the way, right? All right, so now now I've got my loops on either side. I'm not a huge fan of the red little beads on either end of this, but it was necessary because this bead has a larger hole. And to be completely honest with you, I may at the end go back and add a seed bead here instead. But this is what I have on hand, and it does match. It's just not my favorite. Okay, let's put this together and see what happens as far as the length is concerned. Okay, so got my 4mm jump rings here. I'm just going to dump out a few of them so we've got them on hand. Don't really know how many we're going to need. And I didn't think to grab a clasp because clearly that would make too much sense. But we can do that too in a minute. All right, so I'm just going to open jump rings, and again, I'm using these little baby 4mm, but you treat them the same way you do your 6mm. You want to find the opening of the jump ring, and you want to just place it evenly between two pairs of pliers. Okay, hold the non-dominant hand still, and your dominant hand, you just want to rock it open, right? It's just that lateral motion. Don't pull apart, just rock it open. Okay, hook one of your beads and one of your wire beads, and then close it back. Okay, and then we're just going to keep on doing that until we get the entire strand together. So again, between the two pairs of pliers, just move one to open. Don't try to do both pairs of pliers. Like don't twist them both, because sometimes you don't know your own strength and you will open it so far that you'll never get it back into that perfect little round shape again. So just keep that in mind. Bust out those 3mm jump rings. Why don't you be my guest? You are more than welcome to go for the 3mm jump rings, my friend. I'm not going to stop you. I'm not going to join you, but I'm not going to stop you. Look how cool that is with those wire beads in between there. It's just fun. It's just fun. You want to see them? Okay, let me grab them. That's funny. They're so teeny beany. Look at them. They're just little babies. So there's the 4, which are already pretty dang small. And then we put a little 3 next to it. Look at how little. It's just a little baby. That's a little baby jump ring. Yeah, see, and I already struggle to open and close the 4mm. But this little guy, oh my gosh, no thank you. I don't have the patience. I have them if I need them. But so far, I've not really found a reason why I need them. So, yeah, they go great with evil seed beads. I will pass on all of that, but Wanda seems to be all about it. So, Wanda, I'm going to need to see some chainmail put together with the 3mm jump rings. And I'm going to need to see that by the end of class. So, you better get to it. Get to it, friend. All right, looks like this bracelet, I was thinking it was going to be really long. It probably will be pretty big for me, but you know, you can always adjust. You can adjust with jump rings, you can take away beads, you can add beads, whatever you got to do. We are going to be in this together though when it comes to trying to make the 2 strands the same. We might need those 3mm jump rings, I don't know. John says, dang, I can't even see those. I know, right? Could you imagine having to do something like I know you would never make chainmail with it, but could you imagine if you did? It makes me think of those, like, you know how there's absolutely everything in the world. If you want to see something, it's on YouTube. Like, it exists. And there are these, like, chefs that make tiny food with like really tiny appliances. I'm talking like a little stove that's like this big, and they make like a tiny little scrambled egg on a tiny stove. That's a real thing. You should totally look it up if you are bored. But that's what the 3mm jump rings remind me of. Like, whoever decided that they needed to cook on a little tiny stove to make little tiny food would be the kind of person that needs to do little tiny chainmail. And ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Okay, I'm going to close this because I'm not going to close it. I'm going to open it back up because this one's already got some jump rings on it. Barbie chainmail. Oh my gosh. Yep. That's what it is for sure. Okay, hold on. 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah, just one more. I was thinking we had another black bead. We do have an extra black bead here. That's what was throwing me off. Okay, so there's one strand, all connected, chainmail for mice. I love it. All right, so there's one strand. It looks really long, but I guess it's not. That's pretty good. Okay, now we're gonna put together the other strand and we're gonna hope for the best. And if it doesn't work out, we're gonna make it work out. That's what we're all here to do, is to learn and figure it out. So a lot of these guys I had already made, so there is already either 1 or 2 jump rings on them. So all I have to do is just kind of open them and close them. Oh, back. And honestly, since we made simple loops, I could be opening and closing the simple loops instead of the jump rings. It makes no difference one way or another, honestly. I figure if you hadn't already done it ahead of time like I did, then you would probably just be opening and closing jump rings. So that's the way we'll do it. Two millimeter beads. Yep. Not to be confused with size 2. Why did I do that? Not to be confused with 2.0 seed beads. So 2 millimeter beads and 2.0 seed beads are definitely not the same thing. And again, if you're ever bored and you run out of tiny food videos to watch on YouTube, look up the difference between between a 2 millimeter bead and a size 2 seed bead, which is one of those weird rabbit holes that I went down one time. I don't know why, but you know how the internet is. So, but they are absolutely not the same. And you need to be mindful of that when you're ordering things. Just so you know. Don't make that mistake. Okay, so far so good. Looking like this red strand might be a little bit longer, just a little bit longer. Joe says 2.0 seed beads are large. I didn't even know they existed until last month. I'm telling you, they are. They're really big. It's really funny. It's not what you expect. So that is going to be a little bit longer, but we'll adjust it at the end. I'm not going to try to figure it out right this second. Trying to change you? What do you mean, Ramona? How am I trying to change you? What have I done? I'm interested. Tell me. What are you talking about? Trying to change you, trying to convince you to use 4 millimeters. What am I doing? I must know. Oh, that's not even the right bead. Oh my gosh. Why aren't you yelling at me today, guys? Keeping me in line. Where are my designated yellers today? Oops. I love red too. When my studio was downstairs in my house, the walls in that room are this color red. It took like, oh God, it probably took 4 or 5 coats of paint. I remember that when we moved in and I painted that room red, I thought, oh yeah, red will cover anything. That is so not true. It took forever. My favorite room in the whole house. I'm upstairs now. My studio's upstairs, but love that room. What is happening? What have I done? Nobody has intercepted me and said anything about this. Look at what I have. Look at this. I have 3 red beads, 1 red bead, and yeah, guys. I'm totally blaming you for this. Look at this mess. This is not what we planned to do today. It's all right. I can take it apart. It's not permanent. Okay, what I need is for the 2 red beads to go on the other side. No wonder this one strand was looking like it was going to be really long. It's like, what is happening here? I was just not paying attention. I'm glad you guys are laughing. Yeah, you never know, you know? You guys could be like, oh my gosh, she's totally clueless. I'm out of here. It's always a risk. I figure you guys know me well enough by now. Yeah, and it's a Monday. I can always blame it on it's a Monday. Truthfully, I just was not paying attention to what I was doing. Now it looks like the red strand, this bottom strand, is going to be short. But I'm thinking we should be able to add a jump ring to it and it'll even out, I think. We'll find out. We'll find out. See how it's a little short, just right on the, well, you can't see because it's over to the side. But when I straighten everything out, this one's just a hair bit short. Sharon, that's okay. Come on in. So we were using some of the 20 gauge multicolor artistic wire in the red, gold, and black. And we are using the Red Queen beads that match that wire. It's part of the Color Envy collection on the Jessie James Beads website. And because I have been chatting and not paying attention to what I'm doing, I've tried to I am failing miserably at this project. I'm actually not failing miserably, but it's been a challenge because I'm not doing so well on this Monday. We're getting there though. We're getting there. One of those days. Anybody watch the Chiefs game yesterday? Just change the subject. I was so frustrated by halftime. I walked away from it and didn't come back until the 4th quarter, and happily we won, but I was really frustrated. I was like, I'm not watching this. We're going to lose. And we won. Not by a lot, but we won. There were some really good games yesterday. You know what? I just realized this is totally a Chiefs bracelet. Perfect colors. Perfect colors. Couldn't have asked for better. No wonder I like this multicolor wire and bead mix so much. Okay, so laying it all out here, I'm going to stretch out both strands. And I know you guys can't see the ends. Well, maybe you can. It kind of just depends. It is short. Okay, it's short on both ends, and I'm not sure, maybe a 6 millimeter. Yeah, the Steelers play tonight. It's going to be a good one too. Maybe a 6 millimeter jump ring will save the day on either end. We're going to find out. But I feel like this is the struggle that a lot of people have, so it's good that we're here to do this together. Clearly, I don't need to be functioning alone today at all anyway, so it's good that I have some support. Oh gosh. So I'm going to go ahead and close that back, and I'm going to add one to the other side, and then we'll attach them with another 6 millimeter jump ring and we'll see what happens. And I don't have a jump ring on the ends of these black beads because I'm feeling like if I do add that, they really are going to be way too long. This group is very supportive and so understanding and patient with me and my shenanigans, which I appreciate to no end. But yes, we have an amazing, amazing group. Look at that. That worked out almost perfectly. I couldn't have done it better had I used a ruler and really been paying attention. That addition of the 6mm jump ring has really put them, they're as close to even as they're going to get on the ends. There's a very tiny, tiny slight difference, but it is just minuscule. So I'm going to leave it just like it is. I'm not going to alter it anymore. I'm going to put 6mm jump rings to connect, right, both ends, and an additional 6mm jump ring, actually maybe more than one, I don't know. We're going to put dangles on this because I can't not, and I'm going to grab a clasp. I might have one right here. I do. Okay, so let's put everything together. Okay, so there are those two ends together. I'm going to close that back. Okay, I'm going to use an additional, we all do the same thing. We do. And I think that it's important for everybody out there to see that, like, you know, I'm an instructor. I've been an instructor for a long time. I've been in this industry for a while. And that doesn't make me perfect by any stretch of the imagination. And guys, don't let anybody out there that is in the industry that's an instructor make you feel like you are less than they are because they've been doing it longer and they know how to. Don't ever let anybody make you feel less than, because we all do the same things. We all make the same mistakes in jewelry. We all have to learn the same way. You know, we put our pants on one leg at a time, unless you know, attach them to two dressers with bungee cords and jump. Most of the time, we put our pants on one leg at a time. And the struggles that we all have are exactly the same. Okay, so I'm going to put my dangles, see that jump ring that I put between there? I'm going to put my dangles there, but I'm going to add an extra jump ring down here just because I feel like this, see how we've got two jump rings? That's just confusing. So we need to be sure that we have one extra that really kind of is the designated driver down here on this end for, yes, I am the one you attach the clasp to. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't like to put my jewelry on and like have to figure out which jump ring to use. Oh, yay. I'm glad you like it, you guys. I was a little worried. I always am, because I'm just like you guys. I'm like my worst critic, you know. But look how fun that is. Just a multi-strand bracelet. It's going to be a little bit long for me, but that's totally fine. I have little tiny twig wrists. But it can be adjusted. For me, I probably need to take one bead off of each strand, leave the jump rings like they are, but add one, or take one bead away, right? I want to add a tassel to it because I love to have the extra movement. You know, and with the addition or the subtraction of the jump rings at the ends to make the ends the same length, nobody's ever going to notice something like that. You know, nobody's ever going to be like, oh, look at all those jump rings. That's never going to happen. So just one tassel is all we've got for now, but I could totally add more. I've got extra beads here. I could make all kinds of fun little dangles and jangles for the end of the bracelet, but I think I'm going to leave it just like it is and let you guys, take a little look-see at it as it is. I just think it's fun. Multi-strand designs can be difficult, right? They can be challenging, but we can change that by, adding and subtracting jump rings to it, making small adjustments like that, and not kind of taking away from the overall design with the beads. So this was a fun one to kind of walk through with you guys so that we could troubleshoot as we went. And I think it turned out pretty good. So I'm not mad at it. Thank you, Gloria. Thank you. All right, guys, I'm going to turn you guys around. nice around and then wiggle. All right, you guys, how's the sound? Have to wiggle. Put it on. It's going to be really big for me, but I will put it on for you. Like, I don't even have to take the clasp off to show it to you because I will. Let me cinch it up a little bit. So if I take off one bead each, right, that's what I've got, which is what I'm going to do as soon as we're done here because I really love it. It's Chiefs colors. But also great colors for Christmas and also great colors for Valentine's Day. Red, black, and gold. You can wear that all year, right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's Christmas or if it's not. I love the boho. I think I want to make the other boho one of the dangles just because it's so different and unique. It's just really, really cool. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I got the wiggle down. I'm glad. Never know. All right, guys. Well, that's it for me this Monday. I'm going to go take it to the couch, nurse this headache and my pitiful little finger that I smashed with a hammer and then proceeded to slice into with my flesh cutter. This poor finger. I'm going to have to tape it to another finger for safety. All right, that's it for me. Kathy, I will see you tomorrow. And let's see. What else? Just want to touch on the weekly deals real quick, just in case you forget. Buy one, get one free on the boho bead pairs. The code for that is BOGO pair, not boho pair, BOGO. Buy 3, get 1 free on charms and pendants. The code for that is free charm. And last but not least is 10% off on School of Magic collection with your $29 cart. And the code for that is magic10. And if you forget what those are, you can always see those over on the website under the weekly deals tab. Just click on it and you are good to go. All right, guys, I will see you guys again soon. So let's chat real quick just before we go, just so that you guys know what to expect for the rest of the week. So Wednesday is our Destination North Pole Day. So for those of you who are going to be participating in Destination North Pole, I will see you at 11 a.m. with your first project, and then again at 5 p.m. with another project, and then you have an 8 p.m. project with Nile. And then on Thursday, I will not be doing Facebook Live on our regular scheduled time, but I think there is something else going on at 11 a.m. It just won't be me. I'm pretty sure I have that right. I don't know. It's Monday. I do know Destination North Pole is on Wednesday, and you guys can catch me again, same time, same place, right here on Monday. So if all else fails, just meet me here on Monday, okay? Have a great rest of the afternoon, and I will see you guys midweek. Bye, guys.